What is up? What is up? How are we doing? We are back on the Lux Saga live stream. My name is Jacob, and I'm here with Mickey, and we finally have the face cams in. It's good to see you guys back on the stream. We're trying to update the stream as much as possible, but we're ready to hang out and go over some charts and kind of make this more legit, you know? Me and Mickey able to kind of bounce back and forth ideas on each other as, you know, we tackle this trading game together, right? It's gonna be
no joke, right?
Where's everybody from? How are we doing this morning? We're gonna jump in. We got the Dow Jones, the only green right now. Everything else about even there, as you can see below me, right below. Yeah, everything's getting hit hard today. So we're really hoping we can get, you know, some type of bottom in play. Would be really nice. Nas down at 1%. Looks like the biggest loser today that you're seeing is the stock exchange composite there, but obviously the NASDAQ as well is about the same. So yeah, what do you think? We should get into these charts here.
I think so.
All right.
Friday.
Yeah,
Friday.
baby, it is Friday. We should have like a name for Friday, like yeah, I don't know, something fun. What do you think? Like Easy Money Fridays.
I know. Hold on. I got something for you guys. Hold
You
on.
got something? You got something?
Yeah. Hold on.
What do you got? Real quick, I actually wanted to go over the data that did come out this week. So we go back to that there. You got to bear with us as well. Obviously, all of this is new, too, for us. So me and my streaming system here, we definitely got to get that down. But we're going to get there. So this week, we had a lot of news that came out. We had the CPI on Thursday. As you can see here, let me see if I can get this entire week. There you go. Monday, nothing too major. Tuesday, we had the FOMC member talk, which didn't really affect us much. We had core CPI on Wednesday, or core PPI on Wednesday, that actually passed pretty decent. It wasn't too bad. We pretty much hit on those numbers, and we saw that nice rebound, of course. And we had the FOMC, and then we saw a lot of buying coming in on the ES and the NASDAQ with FOMC, but now we're back down with the core CPI that came out. It pretty much hit, as you can see here. These are all actual, and then it's, you know, right on where we were expecting. So nothing too crazy. Jobless claims was about the same, 209. And yeah, we're pretty much just going against what's happening across the world right now. So it's really kind of, that's what's leading us into what we're seeing. So we just got to be careful out there. Make sure, you're up to date on the latest news, not entering anything that could have volatility because of what's going on. And, just being in and out when you can. When you get that profit, just, getting out. So what do you think, Mickey? We should start with probably the ES here, right? You got any?
I heard you got some scalps this morning.
Yeah,
huh?
I had a very nice scalp today. I was gonna see. Sorry, I meant to say, did you have any, news updates or anything you wanted to talk about?
Well, over the weekend, unfortunate things happen in the world, right?
Yeah.
So, what I mentioned when that happened was, past history, we have a knee-jerk reaction, and after that, the market shrugs it off. After a week.
Yeah,
or so.
yeah.
And guess what happened? Back to normal today. Right?
Yeah, it didn't line up very very well with CPI and what you call it this week in FOMC, but
Yeah.
we get what we can get. But yeah, today, I can kind of go over a trade that I had. We could do that. We'll go over let's do what we've done before, and go over our overall analysis on all of these for you guys real quick. This is my personal setup here for scalping. I like to use price action concepts along with the oscillator matrix, but if I'm looking long term, I use all three of our indicators. So I'm going to go ahead and go through all three. for the long-term setups, and we're going to see kind of what we're looking into because remember, on was it Tuesday or Wednesday? I think Wednesday we had we were looking at this trend break right on the 4 hour, watching that trend break after this nice little downtrend we had after breaking that recent swing low in mid-August there, but retraced, found a temporary bottom, it's seeming, at 42.50 there on the ES. I'm gonna pull up the watermark here so you can see it as well and know what we're looking at. But yeah, ES 4 hour, we had this smart trail break. We were looking for that retest, right? But we were very extended on the oscillator. So at this very moment, obviously you can see that the new smart trail keeps popping up. So we're in a possible break of that current smart trail on the 4 hour ES. So right now, because of the change of character, because that smart trail, I wouldn't be looking for anything long or short. This is kind of a directional shift that we could be having. So because of the change of character and all that, so we're going to see if we can get, a either break of that or maybe a bounce and close. We have about 40 minutes left in this 4 hours, so we're not too excited about this thing probably bouncing. So we're probably going to get a nice little breakdown here. But again, guys, we want to go over whatever charts you want to look at. We're going to go over all the majors right now in the higher time frames. If there's a specific asset you want to look at and the time frame, just put it in the chat. We'll get to it just like always, and you'll get analysis from me and Mickey because we're both on the screen here. So, and we got it set up where it's super easy to bounce back and forth. So if you would like to see it from one of us or both of us, just you can let us know that as well. But just post it in the chat and we'd be happy to take a look at it. But yeah, so ES there, you got any insight there, Mickey, on the ES? You think it's going to go any particular direction?
The way the market's looking like and the feds and the rates, I'm thinking a couple more legs down, to be honest with you. That's
I feel you. I mean, even if it just goes retest the recent low, that might be, a good target, honestly. But, yeah, let's jump over to gold. Gold had a massive pump today, and I personally don't trade gold, so I don't know much about why this is pumping. Do you know anything, Mickey, on this one?
Gold seems to have a little correlation with the dollar most times. I know it was pumping today, but
yeah, massive daily order block bounce is something we posted in the chat earlier today, or we talked about on stream last week, or early this week actually. But massive daily order block bounce there. You had that massive 20% volumetric there that we saw. 1.8 million volume was sitting there, and we had a stronger buy volume from where this is coming from. But again, we always talk about reaction. We want to see the reaction there on the on gold or any price when it enters one of these order blocks. Then we want to see if it bounces once it exits. We want to see it on a lower time frame for a nice little trade setup. As you can tell as well for gold here on the 4 hour, if I were to expand these order blocks and let me take the overlaps off, I think there was one on the 4 hour as well, and there you can see as the amount of overlaid order blocks that are sitting at this level. So even though it looks kind of crazy here, we know that this level is clearly significant because there's more than one order block that was printed here in the past. Because this is a significant swing low. So this Monday, the 27th of February, is a way back. So that acted as a key support, caught way before this massive rally. So if you were to, identify that, look for, a nice trend break here on the 4 hour for the smart trail, you could have looked for a setup for a move, and there you go, target this upper order block, which you would have gotten right here. So nice little move there on the gold 4 hour with that change of character. I mean, this thing, every day we look at this, it just makes me want to trade gold. Like the movements this asset makes is just incredible. But I just, I've traded ES and the NQ for so long that I just, so familiar with it. I don't really branch out into these, but I do like doing analysis on it because, man, they just picture perfect. So I should probably jump into it. But yeah, so that was the 4 hour move on gold. Let's see, anybody looking at the chat here? Show the settings they use. Caught that. Good job, guys. If you did catch that move, I mean, it was a massive move. Yeah, so look at the alphabet 4 hour chart at Kid Eduardo for sure. Silver Forex. Make sure you guys, if you want to look at a particular thing, do what Edward did there and do the alpha, like say your asset and the time frame chart. We'll go over it after we touch on these majors here. And would love to. And don't spam it. That makes me want to not go over it. I'm sorry. The more you spam it, the less I want to go over it. But let's dive into what we could talk about is that the order blocks on the daily here. We noticed that daily order block, right? So if I dive into the want to see the 1 day order blocks on a 4-hour chart, we can see here when we talked about entering these order blocks and then exiting for a trade. We talk about looking at those higher time frame order blocks, then on a lower time frame executing that trade. So if we zoom out here, I can grab the okay. So the daily order blocks here there's too many to choose from, so it's not popping up for me on the 5-minute. But let's go to the 15-minute here. See if it there you go. So 15-minute, obviously super common time frame to be trading on. But again, this is what we talked about last week as well. Before this, even more of a massive run happened. Earlier this week, we talked about that breakout and support on that daily order block. Is exactly what we got, and then we got just a continued trend all the way through. And my goodness, what a push we're having into this upper daily order block so far. So Target acquired already with that upper daily order block, and so great little move there on gold, and we might as well just jump into our next asset, which I think we go over the euro. Bitcoin. What am I thinking? Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin had that breakdown. I know everybody was talking about. I'll go to that 4-hour chart, saying the 20K break. Let's see. I'm gonna hide the overlaps now and go to the charts order blocks. All right. So we are currently in, let's see, what we stream on Wednesday, right? Yeah, so we dumped, actually on Wednesday, we were sitting in the same order block. So we actually haven't broken on either side here. We're still in that 4-hour order block. So again, we don't consider, a trade just yet because we keep closing these 4 hours into the order block. But notice, though, something that is really intriguing me is the turning point here on the oscillator, which is one of my all-time favorite setups, is watching the money flow flip and then getting a proper turning point on the oscillator. The only thing I don't like is that you have this trend happening here, right? But then you have it break here after it extended. So if we were talking a bigger trend, though, there's a potential that this acts as resistance as well. But I do like to see clean move to the downside and then a retrace like this, and then a clean move again, but with the bearish money flow peaking like it is at the current moment. But in the current candle formation does look extremely bearish, so we'd like to see if maybe this 4-hour does close outside that order block, and then we might get a nice trade set up on like a 15-minute to target 26, 200 there, or even, some of these lower order blocks. Liquidity looks like it's not too heavy at these levels, except for like down here at 24K. You can see there you got the 78,000 volume that was sitting there. But again, that level there, because it's a 4% on 500 order blocks, which is, the peak I think is 250 on these, but I just put 500 because it's easy to type because there's already a 5 there. But when you have this many order blocks up, like see the amount that there is, it's going to get split up on that percentage side. If you get anything above 2%, it's usually a very significant order block. That's if you want to showcase all your order blocks, right? If I go to 5, obviously, which is default, you're going to see that this one would probably disappear like it did. You're going to see that, this 39%, a high, bigger level of liquidity was there. Because it's 22K in volume. But, if I want to see more, order blocks and longer, trade potential or targets, then I'm going to increase this to 500. You could hide overlap. You can see here we do have an overlap down here. But again, this is where I'm seeing, a higher percentage order block, even though it's a 4%. On average, these are all sitting at 0% or 1%, right? So a 4% is pretty high when I'm showing this many order blocks, and that means that could be a really good target for the low. So for now, on a low end move, it'd be 24K. If we were to break out bearish on this order block, but we do have several levels that we might end up bouncing on, on our way down. So for now, definitely bearish on this. But let me see here. Let me just go over another, and then we're going to just kind of play around and have a good time. Let's see here. Let's look at some Forex. Look at the Euro USD. I know this had, it did have that trend break, but it ended up rejecting. That's kind of lame. So 4 hour on this guy. We noticed that we were in chop, but we did have a nice, since early September, it looks like a nice downtrend there. I'm going to take the order blocks off because what happens is when we are trending, you do start seeing them all gather on one side. And Euro against the US dollar has been downtrending for a while. So I'm going to just take those off for the time being so we can kind of see what we got in the current situation. And we do have a lot of consolidation, right? We always talk about, when you get a generated signal, right, you need an extra level of confidence for a potential trend setup. So we were like, oh, maybe on Euro we'll finally get a smart trail bounce and then get our setup, right? Well, guess what? We didn't get that smart trail bounce. We broke right through it, so no reason to even trade it. So broke through that. We're now setting a lower high here. Haven't got a reverse signal yet, but I do have it on autopilot. This is another reason why I recommend probably just doing optimize almost all the time. But again, when we're looking at this many assets in a row, it's a lot easier not to do the optimized settings. So if I'm looking at just, the ES or something, I more than likely will just optimize it myself. So we had the optimized sensitivity of 10. And then you can see we are in a bearish signal so far. So this could be setting up. We do have a BOS into change of character setup. Now, if this were the case, this is actually playing very nicely. So notice we're extending to the downside, but we're still in a bullish money flow. But it is decreasing. So the bullish money is coming out of the market on the Euro USD here. But what we look for now is, I got to keep thinking my stuff's down there. We have another retracement, right? We want to see probably a more aggressive retracement with that money flow flipping bearish. In my opinion, I would want a bigger leg down to maybe retest this low over here, something like this, and then a retracement up and then back down. So what you could get is, a nice bearish turning point with the money flow flipping into a fair value gap if there was an accelerated sell-off, which we're hoping for if you want to, especially in this New York session. But so far, it hasn't been too strong with it. We need something like this, which would be great, but it is pretty steady at the moment. So for now, still bearish on it. I would say target these 104.6 level, 104.5 before considering maybe a trade setup, unless you would have taken, a trade off of this lower high or something. But for now, again, we're not in a great place for anything to be entered. But I think that kind of, we conclude the overall look into the majors here, I think. I don't think I missed one, did I, Mickey? Let me see. I don't think so.
UJ. I like UJ.
UJ?
USD JPY.
Mm-hmm. Take a quick drink. USD JPY. You got it. UJ. I think we looked at. Yeah, we saw that massive spike. We did look at this actually earlier this week. Been in a massive money flow on the bull side, but it's weakening. See the money flow decreasing? I mean, that's the first sign of, this might start being very tired. Like, very tired up here. Obviously, we're still chopping. Let me change the optimized sensitivity to 15. But, we tried to retest that high. We're in a 3 signal. So this is trending right now. We are trending on the 4 hour. You could potentially get a, smaller time frame trade in, some scalp. We did get, we extended there, which I don't like. And we have a bigger turning point. But I will like to see it kind of continue on this trend. So if we get a retracement back to, we have, we can map out these highs here. We're already trying to bounce off that recent high there, but at the moment, it is attempting to reset, but we need some type of volume to bounce as it already is attempting. But I need something to bounce higher here and close up before we see a bigger move on that 4-hour frame. But yeah, Mickey, I'm going to have you go over the dollar there since you already have it up if you're ready to go on the dollar. And I'm going to pull up we're going to go over the chat here in a little bit for you guys. We were just looking over some setups. And, I mean, Rookie Trader's saying, are we going to see today a real trade or just talking like always? We're not even here long enough to place real trade. We have placed real trade live before. But I will go over a trade that I had earlier today. And it was only one and done. I personally only scalp on challenge accounts because I don't trust myself with like my own money, so I just buy challenge accounts and trade. If I'm day trading, it's only challenge accounts because I don't get as worked up about a loss. But today I will go over a trade that we did that I was going over live in the Discord, and then we'll hand it over to Mickey on the Dixie here, but. I did have a nice setup on my Top Step account today. I'm at 52K, so I'm at 1K away from passing. So we'll see if I can keep the threshold down. But it was a decent little trade, and this is one of my favorite setups that I always go over on this stream, and we've gone over many times before even live. But I'll kind of show you what I was looking at. I was a little early, sadly. And I should have waited for a separate setup, something like this. But it did ended up playing in my favor. And this is a good example of why you need to use these order blocks as stop losses, honestly. I'm going to go back to hide overlap here. Do you both have other channels that you show your trading? Now, we just talk about it in the Discord, in the Luxago Discord the whole time. So as we're, making our trades in the mornings. But actually that hide overlap got rid of that one. So let me show you what I did this morning. What I always look for is I love the oscillator, especially on lower time frames. Oscillator is like my best friend. It's like my favorite thing we've ever released, and I'm glad that we did because it's definitely filtered out a lot of good trades to bad trades. So what I saw this morning was I want to see an extended oscillator at first. So this is market open up here on the ES. We extended up, right? And we got rejected pretty hard, like right about 11 minutes after open. We set a higher low, then we retest that resistance, right? Even that retest resistance, you guys that are crazy enough to take a trade right off that retest resistance. I mean, I know somebody in the chat hit some crazy trade today. But I like to wait out of that because look, the money flow for me was still bullish, right? I'm waiting now. I was looking bearish due to the 4-hour. 4-hour looked kind of weak, especially it was setting up similar to having a bearish day. But if we're just talking about the 1 minute here, I want to see the money flow now flip. We're setting lower highs on the oscillator while this is setting, the same high, right? And we extended now to the downside. But guess what? The money flow just flipped, right? So we were bullish for quite a while pre-market. That's another key thing that I'm like, okay, we're that bullish pre-market. We're probably going to get a little bit of retracement after open. And so got the money flip here. So the first thing I look for is a retracement on the oscillator. And on the oscillator here, we had a retracement. But again, look where it's sitting. It was sitting at 26. So obviously extended is below 20. So I was like, I don't really want to enter here. And it would have been a decent little scalp, probably about 5 points. But I like to get a little bit more out of it. And then we had a nice bullish bounce here with a huge turning point. So you notice some are bigger than others. Got a big turning point there, but notice that money flow, the bearish money flow, was still increasing. It broke the threshold. So I was like, okay, we get a retracement here. I'm going to look for another turning point. Well, we ended up getting a turning point. Let's see. Yep, right here. On this guy, I took my entry right at the close of this candle. And guess what I did? I saw that there was an order block that printed here. Oh, let me go to the short. I saw there was an order block printed here. You can see that arrow there and showing my old trade. printed there. And then what I like to do is I first target the 1-to-1, right? But notice, though, that's what I always talk about every single stream, is on this strategy, on this 1-to-1, it was a 9-point move, right? 9-point move. Because it was a 9-point move, I'm only going to take 1-to-1. I'm going to be a lot lower risk than normal because I'm already at a low, right? And then also because I saw this order block down here, right? So there's an order block down here as well that I could have targeted, and that would have been my final take profit, right? But since it was a 9-point risk, which is extremely aggressive, I'm going to take a 1-to-1 trade with, a little bit lower. If I normally buy 4 contracts, I'll buy 2, which is what I did today. We got 2 contracts on that one. So I entered here. We stop loss above, the order block, which we had there. We almost get stopped, and guess what? It rejects that order block, comes back down, retests that low, and completely just destroys that low. So it destroys that low. This is where I wish I would have seen, this thing extending more and then get a nice reset up here with that turning point, because that would have been an even better entry. But, honestly, it was only a few points higher than my initial entry. We ended up getting this nice down move here, and we closed out. Let's see, it should show the – I guess I got to exit out here. I got to go back out of replay mode. We got our up arrow there. We closed out there, and we hit that 890 profit on the day, which is a very nice little trade setup. So normally I go for around 900 to 1,000 on the trade, but whatever it gives me, honestly. So nice little what was that? I didn't even see. We said 9.25. I think it was a little. I think I gave it a little more because of the order block sitting there. Yeah, it's about 10-point trade to the downside, and that was just on the 1 minute. These candles are absolutely massive, but that was just because I waited to see after an aggressive bullish flow, bearish flow to step in, increase, and then show me structure that we're continuing to set lower highs on the oscillator. Had the nice entry, could have been obviously nicer, but again, I respected my stop loss and I let it ride. And now you can see here we would have, golly, these candles right now are just so aggressive. Like, this is crazy. So we could have had a 40-point trade today if I would have continued to hold. That's not, on a 1 minute chart. I'm just going to be scalping. But 4 hour, we didn't like what was happening. We were extended with that divergence. And then we had a lower high already set. But we were, we're still in that premium, right? We were above the equilibrium. We were in that premium. But you know what? We need to bounce back and forth here. So, Mickey, I'm going to have you go over the dollar here. And we'll start looking at some charts that they want to see. But let me see here. I got your chart up. There we go. Yeah. Take us away, man.
All right, dollar. All right, I got the 4 hour dollar index, okay? Let me hide the premium and discounts, okay? I want to go over the gold as well, right? Usually the gold correlates with the dollar somewhat. In theory, if I'm keeping my dollars, I'm not buying any gold, right? If I'm buying gold, I got to spend my dollars. Spending dollars, meaning dollar needs to go down. That's the way I'm going to view that. It's nice and simple for me, right? Let me flip this to gold, right? I'm going to show you what I see. This is 4 hour, right? Let's kick it up a notch. Let's head to the daily. Okay. Let me squish it up a little bit. And you guys are going to see what I am going to see. Okay. What do we see? All right. 1, 2, 3. What do you call that? All right. 1, 2, 3. When we form this pattern, what does it normally do? Typically, in theory, does it go up or does it go down? Right? I think everyone knows the answer to that. Head and shoulders, triple top, whatever. Right? Gold pumped today. Right? 5 minutes, 15 minutes. In an hour, it pumps. But if you go through a bird's eye view, that pump wasn't really a pump. It's just a little pullback retracement for a pending bearish move from here on out, right? We got a triple top going on here on the daily. And take a look at gold in the past. Past how many years? How many years it's been going up, right? Nothing goes up forever, right? So that's gold. Let's flip it back to the dollar, right? Here is the dollar on the daily, making its way up, okay? Bullish. Let's bring it down to the 4-hour.
Ooh, we're getting bought back up here right now. Aggressive buying.
Yeah, bullish, right? We can scalp short trades every day, long, shorts, whatever. But I like to see the 4-hour and the daily bias, right? It's so much safer to scalp in the direction of the overall bias. And I get it. We're all impatient. I may not get a trade if I'm looking for long, I may not get a trade if I'm looking for long, but there's short setups everywhere. Yes, no problem. But what if you scalped in the direction of the 4-hour and you're watching 2 or 3 pairs, right? You are so much safer that way than scalping up and down on one pair against the 4-hour and the daily trend. That's just some little advice for everyone. That's when it clicked for me, right? That's when it clicked for me when I went in the direction of a higher time frame. Okay. That's the dollar. Okay. Let me.
Good gosh.
You want to take it back over? You have something to talk about after the dollar?
I'm just looking at some trade I missed on the Nasdaq yesterday. Oh yeah, sure, man. Man, we talk about these order blocks all the time, and like me and Mickey always say, we don't make this up, right? So, speaking of the triple top type situation, we had a triple top yesterday that I completely missed on the Nasdaq right after open, right on an order block that was printed. This is why I say I always look for order blocks way in the past, and it was lined up actually with previous resistance as well and support. I mean, this is where you have like your golden like supply honestly, the demand that turns into your supply, demand into supply. Got this printed order block from the past all the way acting as resistance yesterday on that Nasdaq. And that's why we talk about always looking for, the rejects here and it respecting those levels. Had a massive sell-off. That was actually a trade that I took in the chat with you guys yesterday. Yeah, right. Me and you actually did take this short. I was on ES, though, but I was a little late. I took it. Wait, actually, I think I have it on here. Maybe I did take that. I just took it on the ES instead. This is, Thursday.
What'd you do, take a short?
I had a short yesterday. I was trying to... Here we go. Oh, does it print trades from yesterday too? I don't think it has the. It should. Oh, it's not loading. I keep forgetting my whatever doesn't load very well. Check the alphabet. Yes, we'll do alphabet here in just a second. Yeah, we did actually. You're right. That was the one I was like telling everybody in the chat to pray for me because I took 7 points and it ran for 40 on this single down run. Oh man, that was brutal. Man, yeah, but even looking, it'd be shown on trade. I can pull up. I should have it. I should just use my web browser instead because my TradingView app hasn't been working very well. Actually, what I could do here, Mickey, if you want to take it back over, I want to see where that trade was so I can look at it. I'm gonna hand it back over to Mickey here for a sec, and we can go over that. But you can go over the yes or nas or whatever you want to. You talk about the trade you closed today for some decent profits,
Need to be humble here, right?
right?
All right. I mean, since you asked, right? Let's. I need to move this out of the way here.
I just show the chart that you looked at before, because I know
There we go.
hitting that.
Aussie dollar. When did I enter this trade? Let's see. There we go. I entered somewhere right there. Okay. Monday, Tuesday, I entered, right?
What?
Why did I enter? Right here. Okay. We have the daily order block. This is a 4-hour chart with daily order blocks and 4-hour order blocks. Okay. Let me turn on fair value gaps here. Fair value gaps. Actually, I'll turn it on over there. Fair value gaps. Where are
There we go.
There you go. Okay. Let me tell you the reasoning why I got into this trade. Okay. I was watching this higher high from this higher high, right? Pivot point, fractal point, off of this daily order block. Okay, this daily order block printed around somewhere around here, right? So once it retraced back in, I'm looking for a measured move to the downside. Okay, and it happened, right? Take a look at this move. There was virtually no retracement, right? There is no higher lows or lower highs or whatever you want to call it, did not print. It only printed a lower low, right? So these are two of my fractal points. I'm gonna use Fibonacci. I fibbed it from this point to this point. And my golden sweet spot, golden zone, was somewhere around here. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to look for a measured move, a structural change to the downside, a rejection off of this daily order block. But I do not use fib brackets blindly, because to me, it just feels like I'm just guessing. So I need confluence. I need validating reasons why I'm going to fade this Fibonacci golden zone to the downside. And I faded it, okay? Meaning I put a limit order. My validating reasons was this daily order block and this fair value gap. Okay, my golden zone was, 70 to 80%. Okay, I need something to print right around there for me to take a short. It filled me in right there, just by a few pips, right? I virtually, well, let me see, hold on. I don't want to say I didn't get yeah, I had maybe a couple pips went against me, right? First few hours, but that was it. After that, there was zero drawdown. You know what? I don't want to say I'm smart. I got lucky on this trade, right? Let me show you the drawings. All right. Here's a clear explanation, right? Higher high, pivot point, lower low. Draw the fib, okay? My golden pocket, 70 to 80. I could do 71 or 79 or whatever the Fibonacci Einstein numbers, come up with. But I'm just not smart enough, so I just changed it to 70, 80. I don't care, right? So this 70, 80, I put a limit order right there at the edge of the daily order block. Filled, right? First couple days, I'm chopping around, right? But when this retraced a little bit, almost close to break even, right? I'm thinking to myself, what do I do? right? What do I do? Do I hang on? What is going on? I'm not much of a swing trader. I'm trying to learn this, right? Meaning I'm trying to train my stomach and my nerves for this. So I drew my own trend lines. This was the important trend line. This one and this one. When I draw trend lines, I draw two trend lines. A support and resistance trend line. I always have two trend lines. Okay? It broke this upper trend line, right? And then it printed a lower high from a higher high, my entry point. A lower high, a rejection off of its own 4-hour order block. Order block. I'm off to the races. It just flushed. My target price was at the 0% level of the Fibonacci. My stop loss is at the 100% of the Fib. So this is pretty, I'm not much of a risk to reward calculator kind of guy, but when I'm fibbing and when I'm doing the strategy, I'll jump on board. Okay?
Yes,
what is
sir.
this? 1 to 3 and 1 to 4, whatever. It did not hit. I closed this out when? 9 o'clock my time. It was London close. I wanted that last London push. I got pretty close, a couple pips, but I just closed it out manual. I wasn't going to hold it through the weekend.
Yeah.
What is that? 152 pips. I'm done for the month.
Yeah, nice.
That's my story. All right.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I wish I could do it. I gotta.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm learning the swing. It's much more relaxing.
It's hard to look at charts all day and then not want to constantly enter something and like trade. That's why I said I can't trust myself my own money on day trading, so I have to use do the funded challenges. It's just the only way to fight my risk through my actual risk tolerance.
For me, I don't like to back test months and months and months. It's just not the same. I don't like to back test. Well, what I'm going to say, don't listen to me. All right. Me personally, I do not like to test moving forward using a paper account or demo account. It's just not the same. Okay.
Right.
I need to put my own money on the line. You know, my first swing trade was, I believe it was last week, and I was honest with the group in the Discord. I lost. It hit my stop loss. I lost.
That's part of it. You just got to accept it and move on.
I lost $500. You know, me as a scalper, $500 was a lot of money. But I knew, but if I kept on taking these swing, setups like the one I took, the next winner is going to offset that $500 and then some. Right? This trade.
Yeah. Let's see. I know we needed to go over some of these charts for you guys. Gareth, what's up? How you doing? Mickey, when you lose 500 next time, let me know and I'll take you out for dinner. That's what he just. Do you know Stefan by chance?
No, I don't. But
hit him up, Stefan. He wants that dinner. Yeah. So I'm gonna show you guys the. There we go. Yeah. So this was yesterday. This is the only way. For some reason, I can't get yesterday's moves on the chart. For those of you familiar with Top Step, obviously you trade demo to your funded. The Sonnet is the actual thing. Otherwise, it would say practice. But I was going to look at. I had two trades. I didn't even realize this, but the early one was the one that I think I was talking with you guys on. Let me see here. I wanted to see what time it was because we took. It's a very similar setup, something that I really love doing, and I missed out on a massive move. It was afternoon actually. Yes, it was 12:45 Eastern. Was when it was roughly the trade time. Let me see here. Does that line up? Yeah, 11:56. Yeah. So I took it a little later. So if we actually do go back on the chart here, we can look for that trade. I took one obviously at the bell as well there, but The one yesterday, it was sorry, I messed that up. It was the sell time was 11:26, and then I bought back at 11:56 for the 575 there. Sell. Let me double check that one more time. Sorry, it was 11:26. So 11:26. Yeah, it ended up lining up kind of similar to what I was looking for, which would be 12:26. That right? Oh yeah, I forgot. I totally forgot about this. Okay, so this actually wasn't the normal setup. This was just everything on the indicator aligning, which is another thing we always talk about. Let me go back because I'm pretty sure it was rejecting an order block, or maybe it wasn't. I think I had. Oh, I remember now. I remember exactly why I took this trade. Okay, let's go back. So this is where it's like, why? This is where you ask the market, why are you doing what you're doing, right? So if you were in the chat yesterday, I showed you my reasoning behind this on the chart. And first step was, I love the oscillator, right? We had obviously early divergence, right? We had early bearish divergence that was being set up. With that, we had the lower high, right, and a higher high. So early bearish divergence was setting up. And notice why, in my head, I was thinking, why is this uptrending when the bearish money flow is increasing, right? So like obviously to uptrend, you have to people have to buy, right? So just in basic terms, if they're selling starting to happen while people are buying, then something could potentially be coming. So are there bigger buyers or bigger sellers coming in as retail is pushing this higher or something? Who knows? But I waited around enough to get that confirmation that this could be that peak. Right after when I saw this turning point right here, we ended up taking our short because our risk to reward was so low, right? All we had to do is put our risk right up at that, a pointer and a half above that high after we rejected twice. So my mistake, I've targeted, our lower order blocks here that we would have gotten, that you'll probably see here in a sec. These coming off of here, I targeted those. Had about 7 points that turned into a 40-point run, which was absolutely massive. I just could have, been completely done. But, you live and you learn on those. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to be like, okay, it's about to dump 40 points. But overall, noticing that everything else was telling me opposite of what price was doing. So because of that is why I ended up taking, that trade. And that's just, sometimes it's just you catching it at the right time. That's why you always need to be looking at, certain ways that these indicators are reacting to price. But enough of that talk. Let's get into some things you guys want to look at, because I want to make sure we want to review the charts that you've been asking for. Like I said, if you do want to review something, just drop it in the chat. We'll go over it. And Mickey, I think what we'll do is I'll take a spin at it, and then we'll hand it over to you. You take a spin at it. Does that work?
Yeah, we can spin.
We'll go back. We'll be spinning and twirling. Okay, so back when we were talking about this, we were talking about we did go over gold. I don't think it's done much, but the first one with the parameters that I asked, remember I said asset and then time frames. So first one we got from that was Robert. Robert wanted Bitcoin in the 15 and the 1 hour, and then Edward. You didn't spam today. I'm happy that you didn't spam today. You're up next with going over the Google Class A on the 4-hour chart, and we will go over that after we go over Robert's Bitcoin 15-minute 1 hour. If you guys want to look at something specific, just type it in the chat with time frame and asset, and we will go over it. So Bitcoin to USD on Coinbase. We are going to do the 15 and the 1 hour, starting with let's go higher time frame, the 1 hour here. And what I like to do when going over full analysis with you guys, since we're doing higher time frames here, I'm going to switch it over to every indicator because that's what I like to do on these higher time frames. So let's actually do Bitcoin on Coinbase. All right. So far, 1 hour, we are still in that consolidation. We always talk about, especially with Bitcoin, you want to get a push out of consolidation. Look what happens, especially on Bitcoin. When you get that push out of consolidation, you retest like a low, then you start setting lower highs, and then boom, you get a nice trend move, right? So in this case, on this time frame here, and I have an alert set up when the money flow changes on the 1 minute to see if I can get a scalp. But for now, I actually should just pause that because I'm done for the day. But let's see, 16 is the sensitivity on the 1 hour here for Bitcoin. We do have a current situation where we have resistance, right, at these highs around 27, looks like right below 27. We are currently in a 2 signal, but notice it's purple, right? Seeing this purple here, not a huge fan. Ooh, seeing this purple here, not a huge fan of where price is going at the moment. Obviously, this is consolidating at this level, and it's coming from, previous support resistance meeting, similar to, what you would call demand or supply when you're at specific levels. But here, I think for now, all we need to do is see this low get broken. Or do you see that high get broken, right? We have several points of interest if the high is broken and several points of interest if the low is broken. So with this consolidation on a 1 hour time frame, because we're at a low here, if you were to take, a scalp, you could potentially look for a bounce. But we're currently, guess what? We had higher lows, higher low, lower or higher high. Now we're at a lower low. Now we set almost a higher high. We had a double top there pretty much, and now a lower high. So in the current 15-minute structure, we are bearish here. We have a 3 signal, but I don't like that the smart trail is pretty much sideways here, and that's because it's now trying to set a higher low. So it's like really conflicting right now. So because we're seeing straight across smart trails, because we're seeing back and forth signals, there's really no setup at the current moment. Now, if we break this low again, then I might look for a setup. The money flow is in a current setup that I like, but right now it's not actually showing us that it wants to break lower, and that's due to this low not breaking. If this would have set a lower low here, then we could have looked for a retracement for an entry, but it didn't. I mean, it hardly did, if any. It set it very, very tiny lower low. So I would have wanted to see a candle close at a lower low and then get a retracement for a short on the Bitcoin 15. But we did break that low, so there is a potential, that structure could be shifting. But for now, still a little choppy. But let's see if it can, reject somewhere. And then actually, let me change that because optimize was 13. But yeah, there you go. Still got the 3 signals. But bearish at the moment. So let's see, what Mickey's got there, what he's looking at. You got anything on Bitcoin for the 1 hour of the 15 that you would think any different of or like want to look at?
I don't know, but I'll talk about the euro dollar.
Well, we got to go over what's it called right now? Let me see here.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, we got to go over some of the suggested ones. Let me see here.
Bitcoin.
Let's see.
Yeah, flip it over to me. Let me. I haven't looked at Bitcoin today, but I'm gonna look at it right now.
Yeah, man, go ahead. Let me see. And then we're gonna go over Edward. We're gonna go over the Alphabet Google Class A for you. We got you, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up while you go over that.
All right. Here's Bitcoin on my price action concepts 4-hour template with daily order blocks. Let me hide the daily order blocks to have it a little bit cleaner for everyone. All right, this is Bitcoin. I'm not an expert at Bitcoin, but I can read the charts okay, right? The Bitcoin is floundering. On the 4-hour chart, it is just chopping around inside this 4-hour order block. Okay, with Bitcoin, I like to put on the daily order blocks and just put some reasoning behind what it's doing right here. Okay, I like to see where's my daily order blocks. Okay, we have a major one down here. To me, this is the bottom level. There's no way, we're gonna test this level right here. Let me draw this right here. right? That's if I were trading the Bitcoin, if I were swinging it, or if I'm looking for a direction, right? I am going from daily to daily on Bitcoin because you know why? Me scalping Bitcoin and crypto, I get slapped around too much. I'm not smart enough to scalp crypto. I don't know the reasons of pumps and dumps, but I can do pretty good with higher time frame order blocks. Okay, um, to me, I want to be looking for something to the downside. Okay, it happened right here, right? If you go down to a lower time frame and look for a structural change busting out, you know, breaking down from a daily order block, you're going to be scalping, right? Now it hit another 4 hour order block, right? I want to see some pads. I want to see this going back up, okay? Or I want to see this coming back down, right? Right now, I'm hands off on Bitcoin until I see one of those two paths occur, right? But if I had my guess for crypto, I'm always going to look for shorts, right?
Always
It's
bearish.
it's not the right way to think about it, but I got burned by Bitcoin and everything else past 2 years,
Incredible.
so I'm going to hold a grudge.
There you go.
I'm, I'm going to be shorting it from here on out,
Yeah,
right?
so we're inside. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess did that one candle break? That one. Yeah, we were trading inside because earlier on the stream we were still in that. They were still in that 4 hour block,
Yeah.
and now it's like it's showing that it broke. Oh, I see. It did break on the earlier at 8 a.m. this or yesterday. That's weird. It was actually.
Bitcoin.
I might be on the wrong. Oh, I'm on Bitstamp. I think
What's a Bitstamp?
Bitstamp's just an exchange.
Gotcha.
That's why. That's why.
What else?
Yeah, we still have
Oh,
the order block on
gotcha.
Coinbase, but yeah, we can take over now. Go back to Google. Go to the Google 4 hour, and yeah. So Edward, are you still here? By the way, we can look at Exxon for sure. There, Jermaine for no wonder. You got it, man. We'll look at it at some point. Edward wants to do he was one of the first to post. We're going to go over everything that was posted in here that we have that obviously people want to see.
Hey Jacob, go over a couple symbols. I got Marcello over there. He wants, or she, I'm not sure. Sorry. Euro USD. Let me go over that. I got some tips and tricks on that one.
All right, I'll go to Google real quick. We'll hop over to you for the Euro
Okay.
USD after that. We'll look at NQ for sure on the 1 minute and 5. Yeah, you got it, Nicholas. Okay. Google. So, Edward, remember yesterday we were talking about how we just broke out of this high. We want to see if it wants to continue or, see if it retests the order block. Well, obviously today we had a big sell-off. So now we finally got something to go after, right? We have a sell signal, which is good. We got a 2-sell signal, so now we can start our analysis on, okay, maybe this might come out of this massive uptrend that it has, right? You had a 2 signal here, it gapped down, and then it found its bottom and then went, right? But notice there was no rejecting happening there. So in this current 2 signal, though, what I really like about it, like about the signal occurring, is that we had extreme bullish money flow, right? Extreme bullish money flow throughout this whole move. And now it's trying to flip to bearish. So what I really, really want to see is I really want to see if this breaks that smart trail and then has that retest, right? Has a retest after that, shows a lower high. We need a lower high for entry to confirm that this thing is coming off of this high. If not, this could settle off, with the rest of the market, and it could bounce very aggressively. So that's something we do want to pay attention to on Google right now. But like you said before, we were in a large premium. If we go to the daily as well, we can look. We have the same order block sitting right above that high. We currently in that bullish move still. If we switch it to 15, as the optimized says. We are also in that. We did break out, though, of that high order block there. I want to see if we pull up the premium discount. We are still at that premium on a daily. So being at that premium and the order block, it could consider this a potential high. Got the divergence printing on the daily as well. But I want to see that money flow shift from bullish to bearish if we're considering any short. But for now, I wouldn't long or short until we see that bearish money flow shift. The money flow shift back bearish. But even if we look at a weekly, let's see where we are on a weekly chart. So in a weekly, we're also in the premium. So all of this is starting to click to where this could set up for a short opportunity after this bullish run. And with where the market's at, you could have a decent trade on Google to the downside if the market wants to give it to you. So it's a matter of waiting and making sure that you are prepared. So if I were you, if you have Lux Algo Premium, first thing I would do is probably go to the oscillator matrix, add an alert, and in the settings go down to the bottom, say money flow, and then crossing under or just crossing 50. So then if you have that alert set, that when this flips to be bearish, that it could be setting up for a potential short opportunity. So you could set that alert on the 4-hour Google chart if you do have that. But again, after that occurs, we want to see if this thing can drop below the 50 level, retrace, and then on that retracement, take our entry. So be somewhere probably where this smart trail is sitting later on next week, probably near the end of next week, unless we get an aggressive sell-off. So yes, for Google, I think we see, so far a breakdown if this continues from where it's at the moment. So yeah, you wanted to say, someone was saying the euro, right?
Yeah, we can do euro.
Yeah, go over back to Mickey for the euro here. I'm going to look at the next one for you guys as well. But go ahead, Mickey, see what you got.
All right. Blood Red Friday on the euro. This is the 4-hour. Okay. That's all I want to know. Right. I'm going to switch over to my price action concepts template on the euro. Okay. Tips and tricks. Right. I don't like to trade inside the 4-hour order blocks. Right. I like to see a break down or a break up. Okay. In the past streams, I've detailed a few techniques to how to enter on a lower time frame. Pivot fractals, change of character, matrix turning points. Right? Those are just ideas. That is not one strategy I use. I'm just showing different ideas that you could use to enter. Right? Here is a technique of trend lines, manually drawing trend lines. I kind of showed this in the room, before it happened, and it happened. Okay? This is how I draw trend lines. Let me turn them on. I like to take a bird's eye view, squish it way down. I want to take the whole trend. I drew these trend lines, I don't know, months, weeks, out. So I took the highest of the high and connected 2 points. Same thing, right? When the market opened, right, we were somewhere in here. So I drew this trend line. I was waiting for a breakdown. Why a breakdown? Neo Cloud was red. Dollars going up. My bias is bearish. Give me a reason to scalp a short. Okay? I did not just make this up. This was posted in the VIP Discord early this morning. These exact same trend lines before this move happened. Okay? I want to scalp this move right here coming out of a 4-hour order block. Here is my confluence. I drew this trend line from here to here. This bar never existed when I drew this. If I wanted to draw the trend line right now, I would have to draw at some later point. I need to see a retracement up, right? I drew this trend line because I have a measured move pullback. That's where I'm going to draw it, right? So once I draw this trend line on my trading view, I have it set to global, okay? Meaning these trend lines are going to migrate over to a lower time frame, so I don't have to redraw it, okay? So let's move over to a 15-minute. I'm looking for a short below this 4-hour order block.
We're going to go over natural gas here soon as well. I know a lot of you mentioned that, so let's go over the natural gas after Mickey finishes up here.
Okay. Here's this original trend line I drew on a 4-hour. This is a 15-minute candlestick, okay? This green order block is a 4-hour order block. This green order block is another 4-hour order block. These are the same order blocks on the 4-hour chart. I'm going to show you right here. 1, 2. I colored them green on the 15-minute. Okay? So here's the trend line. Once it breaks the trend line, I want to look for a short. I want to go order block to order block. Well, where do I get in? Do I get in right there? You could. I'm not going to lie to you. You could. That would be safe. Do I get in over here? Yeah, it's obvious hindsight. You could, or you could wait a little bit for some confluence. Well, what are we looking at? What's my favorite? Let's turn them on. Higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, wherever you want to call it. Pivot fractal points, okay? Let's turn them on. Just like Jacob said, I'm not making this stuff up, all right? Let's enlarge this. I'm going to circle these two, all right? I'll circle these two, okay? When the 4-hour candle was dancing around the trend line, right? We were here. We were over here. Okay? You waited for this pivotal fractal to print a lower high from this higher high. Guess what? That is a bearish structural change. All right? Let's measure this move. Let's measure from here. Well, we're not gonna enter here. There's no way. I'm gonna be honest with you. You could have faded, but you'd be guessing. That's a gamble. So I have to wait for this lower high to print. So let's measure worst case. Let's measure worst case from this 4-hour order block to somewhere in the middle of this mess. You could have exit here. You could have held it. I don't know how long you're going to hold it. Let's just measure to the middle. That's 13 pips on a quick scalp on a Friday. Average. Could have been 10, could have been 20. I don't know. You know, I'm not going to sound smart and say, oh, I got 25. No, I'm just going to put the average because everyone's different, right? 13, 14 pips right there. So that is just another technique to find an entry on a lower time frame. Okay, so that's my tip of the day.
Tip of the day. All right, natural gas daily in the 4-hour, and we'll go over some lower time frames as well. Thank you, Mickey, on the was that Euro USD, right?
Yeah.
All right, natural gas. I saw several others say something about it as well. Let's go see other. We just go over the whole thing actually. But for now, nat gas finally on the daily breaking out of its consolidation, pretty much from what's going on in our world right now. We're going to probably see some increase on the commodity side usually. Obviously, oil's been cranking recently, but it came off that high for a little bit, and now it's trying to climb back up. Broke out of resistance at about $3. Now we're at 323, of course. But notice on the oscillator down here, we are extended, so price at the moment will have to reset. I will say that we are out of this range, though, that we have here. If I can pull this up, there we go. We are out of this consolidation, right? Had consolidation on the oscillator, never extended. Remember, this is what I like to talk about. I like to see price extend on the oscillator before either setting a trend or reversing. So oscillator extended here. If this trend gets set, notice we do have a little bit of overflow. We haven't had overflow in a while since we had this massive sell-off. So overflow coming in on the buy side's good chance that we could continue on this upside here. If we check our recent, man, this is just some crazy lows here, a lot of support. If we check our recent, low that we had with a fib pull, we can see that this does line up with that $3 resistance that we had, which we know at that point could be a good entry with supply turning into resistance. Now, obviously, we're at an extreme low right now still on that gas. In this case, you can see we are literally, this is a premium zone on the daily if we were to pull up that feature as well, but have a lot of room to the potential upside, a lot of imbalances that need to be filled as well. So we could, with everything that's going on, see another uptick or a trend out of here, but we'll see as we continue this retrace. At the moment, of course, when price extends, it does have to reset. Like anything, it's all natural. It's going to rally, and then it's going to come back, and it's going to rally again. That's just how price moves and how the entire world works. So seeing that this is already coming back down is potentially setting up for a continuation. But at the moment on the daily here, not too bad. 4 hour, if we jump into it, we can see that we are continuing on this smart trail. We had that breakout of the $3 move there. Let's see, did I? No. I got a chart order block. Okay, cool. Had the breakout there at that $3, and notice how it turned immediately into a support level after it broke on the 4 hour here. So ended up breaking there, came back, retested that same resistance that it had, and then rallied after that change of character, which was really nice after seeing this 3 signal. This is where we say the 3 signal is one of my favorite signals, is because when it does set up like this, it plays out usually pretty nicely. You can see that it did reset that money flow too, which was that was ideal. It showed a little bit of bearish money flow as bears were trying to hold it down off that 3 level, but with everything happening, it did drive it right back through that high and set up for a nice trend move on Thursday. So yesterday, actually, had that nice move. Wait, is it the right Thursday? I don't think so. Yeah, I had a feeling. It was last week. So last Thursday before it had this big push. That makes a lot more sense. For now, you do have the retracement on the 4 hour. It is in the smart trail at 324, 325 here. This is where I would consider, we're either going to break down and set another lower high and head lower, or we're going to, bounce here and continue. But in the current state, we talked about the Fibonacci where that 50 level is sitting, and it ended up lining up perfectly with around that $3 level. And even if you were to take before the breakout, sometimes people like to fib off the higher low before the breakout. You'll see that sitting right at $3. So we could get that retracement and then look for a potential setup. But for now, it's we're in this mid area where it's not necessarily a great time to trade it on a higher time frame. But let's switch over to like a lower time frame, like the 5 minute here on nat gas, and see we are currently in consolidation. But if we were to look, earlier this morning, we did have a few trend setups. I'm going to take off the price action concepts just because we were in a downtrend, and we did get that 3 signal. So waiting till market, let's see, that was 1 a.m. that happened. So this morning broke out, never bounced. It did show a bounce, but we were in a 3 signal, so that's not something I would ever take. We are also showing large bearish money flow, right? Large bearish money flow on the downside here. So that would never be my, I would never take entry with, bearish money flow. So no potential long trade. Short wise, you could have had one earlier this morning around 3 a.m. When that volume kicked in off of these, rejects from the smart trail, which we always say, watch for smart trails acting like a trend. If a smart trail is sideways like this, there's no reason to trade it. Look, smart trail acts like a trend here, but guess what? When price came up to it, it ended up breaking it, so we wouldn't take the trade. But in the time being, on the 5-minute, still need to get this thing going to the upside and that money flow to flip before even considering an upside trade. If we bring it back to the 15, same thing, we're in a downtrend still. We're rejecting, though, that smart trail on a 3 signal, so this is technically setting up, but guess what? Oh, that money flow flipped just a tad bit. If it does flip again here, you could, if you get an increase on the bear side, could potentially get an entry. But again, it's just not entirely ideal. Let's see, 15-minute here. Yeah, you could target a level like, right here. That could be a nice little area to target because of the breakout move there. If we take, our price action concepts back on here, we do have a level down at 318 that we could target as well if there's a short opportunity, which is possible because, right, guess what? Look, we had a liquidity get taken right here off of that recent low. If we put on, our breaker blocks, right, it should pop up. Let's see if it does. If there was one there. Now, there might not have been one there, to be honest, and there wasn't. So, and if not, then I just need to go to a higher time frame. But I don't think there was one there. Let's see. Yep. Nope. So there was an order block at that low, which is fine. We're just going to go with whatever it tells us. So wasn't one at that low. But again, that low is significant because clearly there was buyers that took that low there at 322, roughly. 322.5. But now guess what? We swept it. And do we get a continuation to the downside, or do we get a support and then continue? We're still in the middle of that happening right now. So if this holds this 324 and it breaks out of the smart trail, then I would say look long. But at the current moment, not really. I would want to see this order block tested and then a bounce. That would be a proper liquidity grab and not just one little 3 or 4 cent retrace or break. We would want to see a nice liquidity grab down here of where it's rallied before off that order block for a big move here. So are you short there? You said holding long-term swing from an entry a couple weeks ago. I'm assuming you might be long. Just because honestly on a higher time frame there's so much imbalance up here to take. Like if I were to tick on, it does trade with less volume than most of these major assets, but you'll see here there's usually on these massive moves to the downside there's a lot of imbalance, which there is. I'm going to take off the breaker block so you can see them. So those fair value gaps, we just filled. Look at that. So that did just line up with a current fair value gap that was rejected. That didn't get fully filled. It rejected right off of it. If I were to, just set a line here, boom. See, it touched it perfectly. And the fair value gaps we're talking about are obviously these little boxes here. And if I were to just mark these off, you can also use those as targets for liquidity to take. So nat gas for now, we're retracing. Will it set up? That's going to be determined on that $3 level, probably. I would say I'd retrace it to $3 to reset everything and then decide if it wants to go a certain direction. NQ, though. Somebody want to look at NQ in a lower time frame? Yeah, of course. I don't know why when I type in NQ it doesn't automatically go to the front contract. This was a weird level, man. I honestly, I got that alert when Mickey was going over charts. I was like, man, if there's a setup here, I might take it just for the sake of being live. But, this is too choppy. I need to see clean moves, right? We need to see something like this. Like, that's a clean move. But seeing these random spikes, which, I don't know if it seems like somebody could be speaking. Obviously, this is a 1 minute. So 1 minute's not necessarily something I always like to look at when I'm scalping. If I get a setup, I'll take a look at the 1 minute. But we are in a pretty good discount right now on a 5 minute chart. So do we, we're currently, this could have been a lower high. We're trying to break back to the upside. This actually on the 5 minute is setting up potentially for a trade. And that's because, look at this. Oh, if I can not do that. We are in conflicting trends here, right? You got a lower high on the oscillator, but you also have a higher low on the oscillator. But this is where my favorite kind of setup is, because notice when we had a retracement to let's see. Well, here obviously lower high. Right here. When we had a retracement to this upside here, we never ever extended. Here we almost extended, but it ended up being a lower high. It was around 60. Never went over the 80. So because it didn't go over the 80, this could be setting up for a nice reversal. So what I would look for here in just a second is a breakout of this, little move we have here. So I would want to see a break, retrace, and then I'm not doing well with the path today. A break, retrace, and then I would take an entry off of this turning point that would occur around that 50 level. For that to happen, obviously price is going to have to extend a little more, maybe retest the recent swing high there or lower high, and then pull back a tad, and then I would take an entry. It's going to be somewhere in this 150 range. If we do break out here. Obviously, I trade a lot more ES than NQ. So if I were to pull up just the ES here, sorry, I already had it up. Same situation. We got a higher low with divergence and a lower low, right? Lower low, higher low. That's divergence, clean cut to the point. Breaking at 50, money flow, so long as this price keeps going up, will flip. We'll probably get an alert for it. You can see here it's already trying to. If it flips and we get that retest up there and we get a nice higher low, another one, then we will be potentially looking for a trade. So we'll see if we get that here in the next 15 to 30 minutes. We got about 45 minutes left on the stream. We'll go for about 2 hours today. And then maybe we will get a setup. That'd be kind of cool. But again, it's not about constantly looking for a setup. Like, it's about waiting for that setup, right? So we do have an opportunity on a 5 minute here for the ES and the NQ. Will that occur? I don't know. But we will, wait around to see. But let me go back. We had people wanted to see the QQs. That's pretty much the same as NQ. Any others you guys want to look at? We look at Bitcoin 15, I think. Silver, somebody did want to look at. I think the SLV is the ETF, but is it SL? SV probably. Silver futures. Let's see. Silver. Let's go to the 4 hour on silver because obviously their intraday volatility is kind of low. This actually had a decent little setup that I like to see. So here you go. This is our potential setup, or that already happened, really. You had price extend. I don't like price extending to the upside before it flipping. I'd rather it have another, reject like this or something. A lot of times on reversals, especially with the oscillator matrix, you do get price extending a little bit before the money flow moves. So, this turning point could have set up for a nice little move and did have a breakout, especially in that discount zone. Silver at the moment on the 4 hour, trying to, come back after sweeping. It's at a lower low, and now it's, trying just to, we have the daily. There you go. So it is recovering. We had a major major support. It is back at that major support. Now, this is where you say, hey, does this reject or does it break back over? At the moment, it's acting as if it wants to break back over. But if you get a massive sell-off here on the daily, I would consider that a nice reject and a potential, trend continuation. So could head lower after this. It is on the daily, though, in that premium zone. The premium zone is up here. It's above the equilibrium. It's in premium. On the 4-hour, I'm pretty sure it's in discount. So, it just entered premium on the 4-hour as well. So, there you go. It's a matter of does that previous support, does it become supply now? Right? Is there going to be an imbalance there that I can't seem to figure out the boxing situation? Does it act as resistance? We're going to find out here in an hour and 21 minutes. Hour 21 minutes on this 4-hour close. And obviously on the daily, we have, why did that just say 2 days, 22 hours? Oh, maybe on silver it's just different timing for some random reason. I don't look at silver much, but in the current analysis, it's just acting, it's just proper structure at the moment. It's retesting previous support, which is what you want to see. But let me see here. If you guys want to go over anything else specific, let us know. I know somebody mentioned Tesla earlier. I haven't even looked at Tesla today. Got anything interesting over there, Mickey, that you want to see?
I'm actually looking at the NQs here.
Nice. I want to look at Tesla. Tesla's in a premium as well. Oop, a lot of order blocks on Tesla. A lot of volume on Tesla. Tesla discount on the 5-minute. 4-hour is in it is also kind of in a discount. So I'm actually going to take off the premium discount zones here. Actually, I'm going to look at it on here. Like I said, when I'm looking at higher time frames, I like to see all the indicators, see what we're in. Let me drop this to 10. So we're in a 4 signal. Okay, that's look at the break here. Uptrend break and just the daily here, very low uptrend break. It is trying to fill that imbalance after it bounced off of it. We have the change of character that was formed. Let's see, on Wednesday. So because of that, I mean, look at this. This is almost. Oh, it went up to the 7.8. That's you like the 7.8 or something, Mickey? Didn't you say 7.1 maybe 7.8 on the fib?
Yeah, 70 to 80. I like.
So I mean, here on Tesla, we had a 4 signal right into the 618. Even if you took in a short off the 618, could have been a nice setup for a short position because today you're down what? Almost 3%. Good gosh, that's crazy. So, yeah, seeing that, set up on that trend reversal, very nice. Money flow, look, it was coming out of the market on the bear side for that uptrend, but never fully left. So, it's still bearish. You got a lower high set now yesterday. Sorry, yeah, on the oscillator, lower high set yesterday. After a big bull run, this could be setting up for a test of that 240 again. So, you could have another $10 drop on Tesla if this is cooperating. But you have conflicting trends as well on the oscillator. So we'll see. I feel like for now, definitely bearish. So it feels that full imbalance. But yeah, I don't know why I'm yawning. I need to drink some of my coffee. We can go actually check back on gold, but I'm going to let Mickey take over and look at the NQ here for a sec while I take a swig of my coffee, and we'll go over gold there. Hernan for sure. Gold, we know how popular it is. But Mickey, what you got for us?
I'm going to go over NQ a little bit, and I'll quickly go over NQ on the signals and overlays. Okay.
God, we're just on the 5 minutes going back and forth like crazy. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Don't tempt me. I'm trying to do swings here, But here's NQ, of course, 4-hour, right? Everyone knows the reasons why I love 4-hour. Here are the daily order blocks. I colored them. All right. The dailies are colored. Here's the big one. Okay. I have a lot of messages regarding lower time frames and which price action concept settings should I put on lower time frame versus the bias chart of 4 hours, right? What you could do is start simple first, right? Let's just concentrate on one chart with the premium indicators and a lower time frame. Let's have a bear chart and let's just do this manually. Because if you do this manually, then you will understand your strategy concept. And once you understand it, then you can add the premium indicators on a lower time frame and make it easy for you. So you don't have to think. Okay. So let's just do this manually. Because once you go through the process of doing this manually, you have control over your trading. You
Yes,
have
sir.
control of your bank account. You feel better about yourself. You feel good because finally you know what you're doing instead of just blindly following indicators. So if you understand what you're doing manually and then add the premium indicators, it's just that much more powerful, right? You're going to save some time. So let's do the 4 hour, right? I wake up this morning and I'm somewhere around here, right? It is bouncing off this daily order block. So let's just do this, right? Let's draw this box, right? Let's draw this right here. I'm going to include the 4 hour order block as well, right? I'm going to include these 2 order blocks, actually 3 order blocks right here, all right? Hopefully I got this on global, all right? Now it should filter to the lower time frame, 15-minute. Bit better, all right? If not, I got to redo the global. There we go, all right? So let's enlarge this, all right? So what I'm looking for is entry levels below this daily order block or entry levels above this daily order block. Okay, those are my 2 paths. All right, let's go back to the original chart. Okay, let's turn on. Why don't we just turn on market structure? I haven't turned those on in a while in the live. Let's turn those on. Let's do the default. Let's do the default 5. All right. Okay. Not too bad. We had some bearish structural change to the downside when it was forming. Right. Nothing over here when I woke up. Right. So why don't we put something there? Why don't we put something there to give me a valid reason to take a short? This is not the right answer or wrong answer. We just got to try it and see if it shows us anything. Bring this down to all the way down to 2. Maybe this will work. I don't know. Okay, there you go. Now I have a change of character to the downside. Okay. There's my signal to go short. I also can highlight the higher highs, lower highs. All right. Look where this is printing. 1 here, 1 here. Okay. We have 2. We have 1 more additional possibility of entry short. Okay. Let's go down to the 15-minute. Let's enlarge this chart a little bit, make this clearer. There you go. Where are my arrows? There we go. I am looking for a short somewhere in here, right? I'm going to randomly put some arrows here. I don't know where, right? I'm looking for shorts only. I know there have been pumps of longs, but I don't care, right? I don't want to trade into an order block. I want to trade away from an order block, right? So now, once you manually draw this, now you have power, right? You control your own strategy. This is all manual. Now we can add price action concepts and other premium indicators to make our lives easier. Let's turn them on. Let's turn on those order blocks, right? Take a look at this action. Take a look at this. Take a look at this 15-minute order block. This is a 15-minute chart, right? It breaks through, right? Retest a little bit, and this is a beautiful retest. Your rule could have been, I want to see a touch of the order block and take the entry in that direction. That is a legitimate market structure concept. All right, let's turn on some more other features. Maybe you don't like that feature, right? Maybe you want some more clues. Let's turn on the internal pivots. Okay. Take a look at this retest over here. Higher high. When this printed, you're probably somewhere over here. Let's measure the move. Minimum of 20, what is that? What is this? Ticks. Minimum.
Tickies.
Yeah. So we're going from the entry of the higher high, which would be somewhere around here. I'm not going to lie to you, right? Down to the next order block. Not too shabby, right?
Not too shabby.
That's more than, that's a lot of ticks. What does it say there?
We got 55 points there, 56 points.
That's a lot of ticks.
224 ticks. 200 ticks.
All right. Guess what? Another lower high printed.
Another
it's a
one.
Confirmation of a bearish trend. This is a higher high. We have a pullback. This is what I want to see. Get rid of this arrow. Lower high. Cool. I'm on high alert. Guess what happened? It got rejected off of this other order block. Lower high. Let's measure this move. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's go worst case right here. 100 ticks. Right? You may not get these trades, so you watch a couple more pairs. Right? So if you're concentrating on the most highest probability of trades, for me, it's the 4-hour and daily order blocks. I'm going to trade away from them. I'm going to go to a lower time frame. I may not get a trade today. I may not get a trade tomorrow, but I will get a juicy one on the third day.
Juicy.
Right? Yeah. So maybe one symbol, you may get 2 juicy ones a week. Well, so why don't I just watch the ES and the NQ? Now I got maybe 4 juicy trades.
Yes, sir.
These are small trades. In the big scheme of things, this was small. Right? Let's go over to the 4 hour. All right.
Let's see it. Got an interesting 4 hour on gold here about to go over for Hernan for sure. Once you're finished up, man.
Chart is kind of pausing a little bit.
Are you good?
Hey, switch it back over to you.
Yeah, I got you.
Let me fix my chart a bit.
Yeah, you good, man. All right, gold 4 hour. Man, if I traded gold, I wouldn't be doing this live stream with you guys. I'm just kidding. I would. I mean, this is pretty ideal. I don't know why I didn't catch this earlier, but before this pub even happened, we did. I mean, this is exactly what we talk about when you see everything that lines up perfectly. It's exactly what you're going to see. So, first of all, ones and twos can act as retracements, especially in big uptrends, right? So, got a massive uptrend on that smart trail. You could have caught this run because look at we had that money flow flip. You know, price extended, right? But look at how aggressive that selling was. So, price exhausted, we might get a reset, right? We do get a reset here with money flow breaking threshold on this candle with the 3 signal. I mean, you can't... Like, that's just, I'm just going to give up on Yes, and start trading gold. But here you go. Target upper order block. 2-1. 43. I don't know if you call them points on gold. Correct me if I'm wrong on the point part. We can call them handles or points, same thing. But yeah, it's just, man, what a rally so far. But this is where we look now. Okay, 4 hour, right? We're the 4 hour. 4 hour order block. Okay. This is where we say, people always ask, hey, what do these metrics mean? Well, guess what? I mean, obviously red is sell and green is buy, right? So because it's sell and buy here, we do want to note that we tend to go opposite of what it says. So at this level, there were a lot of sellers, right? If people buy into that level again, what happens? There could be buyers that want to take out what sellers took out before, right? So buyers might want to take out a level that had a lot of sellers at before. But again, we talk about reaction. It's all based on reaction. So we're in the current 4 hour order block. If price rejects here, we know that sellers still want to hold this level. If price gets bought through here, we could eventually treat that as, a nice support bounce, something that takes us even higher. So initial thought, though, buyers are going to take this out when we originally see that. So seeing that the sellers were stronger at this level, that means they could potentially be exhausted, especially with this massive money flow coming in and we're extending up here. Yes, we could have some situation occurring here. But we got 2 hours left on the 4 hour candle. Anything could happen in 2 hours. 2 hours, this could be a hammer. This could be, another massive imbalance candle. It could be a liquidity sweep. It could be several things in 2 hours. So that's a matter of seeing where we're at here. And, you never know. We could be heading higher. We could be heading lower. So it's a matter of waiting to see what that 2 hour mark tells us. But that was gold. Let me see. On a lower time frame as well here, we jump into a 5 minute. Again, 2s can be retracements, as you see here, 2 to 3, 2 to 3. Boom. Nice rally on each time that has happened. But you got to have that continuation. We are rejecting that order block there. But again, let's look at a 4 hour order block on a 5 minute chart. What? We can do that? Yes. You just go into price action concepts indicator. You hit the time frame under order blocks. And then you click 4 hour, which we all know we want to see higher time frame order blocks more than likely. So, because they're going to just act as stronger levels. Now, if for some reason they don't pop up, you just need to make sure that you first max it out. I say, 500. Get rid of hide overlay if they still don't pop up, because we know that there's a 4 hour order block sitting here. That means there's way too many order blocks already printed, right? So if I zoom out here, we'll see that there's too many already out on the 4 hour. So if I scroll back, there's probably a lot more. So what I do now is I go up in time, like 15-minute chart usually does the trick. Let's see if we get it on the 15. Even the 15 is not giving it to me. Was it a 4 hour or a daily? It might have been a daily. I might have been talking about the daily that whole time. That was 4 hour. So because it's that, let me go to the 30 minute. Sometimes it takes a few time frames. Man, it's not wanting to give it to me there, Mickey. I don't know why. There we go. 45-minute time frame allows me to see it. Anyway, if that's the case, if it's not showing up, go to your 4 hour, right? It's just because TradingView doesn't allow that many order blocks at a time. There's only a max that we can grant. So what you do then is you would just draw your box. We know that on the 4 hour, this is showing an order block, right? We draw that box out, and we go to the 5 minute and say, hey, okay. If we, exit on either side here, we show that support or resistance on either side, we could trade. We could trade, to the upside or downside. But we need that support, right? Being in a big uptrend like we are now, I wouldn't consider, longing immediately because, look at this move. Absolutely insane. But there you go. That's another trick to do if for some reason that the 4 hour order blocks aren't showing up on a lower time frame. It's probably because they're printed somewhere else and just the max won't be reached. But here you go on this. Actually, that's interesting. We actually it turned into a breaker block on a 5 minute. So I wonder. Oh, you know why? That's so silly. I get it. It's because price has closed outside of this 4 hour order block on a 5 minute, but price is not closed on the 4-hour just yet for this actual block. So there you go. The other fix is, if I can grab this, I want to delete it. Not that one. You give me this box here.
Draw the box.
The fix is draw the box, of course, but but the other fix is just doing the breaker blocks, making sure those are on as well. If for some reason it isn't showing up, because obviously when an order block gets mitigated, right, it just means price has closed on the opposite side or outside of it. So if I'm showcasing 4-hour order blocks on a 5-minute chart, if price at any point on a 5-minute candle closes outside that order block, it's going to be considered a breaker block. Notice, though, on the 4-hour chart, price has not closed outside of this 4-hour order block. So it only gets mitigated on close. Now, if I were to do a mitigation method of, I think, wick, it should turn into a breaker block. Boom, breaker block. So notice you can change the mitigation method if you want, but default is close, which I recommend close, because a lot of times they're going to go grab that liquidity through the order block and then they're going to reject it or whatever it is. But yeah, so there you go. A few fixes for your order blocks there if they're not showing up on the lower time frames, and I should have been doing that way before as well. Okay.
Let's start all over.
Money flow change on the ES. We go back bullish. That's probably what it is. ES, 1 minute money flow change. Yep, money flow change on the 1 minute. So this thing just swept liquidity on the 1 minute. It's very low time frame. But would you say you want to go over Euro? Something happened?
No, I was just joking with you to start all over because you mentioned you can do that before.
Right. So liquidity swept on the NQ 1 minute, SP, which is probably NQ as well. Let's see here. Man, what a getting a 3 signal as well. This could turn into a trade opportunity. We've been waiting for something to happen. We swept those lows. Now we're back over. If this retraces and it shows us, this is what I would want, is a pullback here after it extends a little bit, but we'll see. Let's see. We're at hour 50 here. We got a little bit of time left with you guys. Anything specific we want to look at? We haven't taken a look at Bitcoin in a while. I'm sure it's still consolidating. Yep, has literally gone nowhere. Well, actually, I'm on the 1 minute. Let me see here. 5 minutes, still just chilling, relaxing, all cool. Shooting some people outside the school. Let me see what else we got. I think we said Tesla 4-hour order block on the 5 minute. Go to the 4 hours, see where we at. I know Tesla. Yep, we did say getting that downtrend break, or sorry, the uptrend break, or very small uptrend break. We're getting it still in that 4-hour block, but coming out of it now. Nicholas said NQ longs here. Yeah, man. We were just looking at it. For potential, reversal. But like I said, I want to see. Look at that money flow. Wow. So NQ a little different than ES, obviously. Never broke down entirely. Didn't get the 14 here. See. 14 signals. So, yep. You got that retracement back. Money flow, look at it, already overflow. Overflow, very, very good potential. When you see that overflow is when you get that second color on the money flow right here. Overflow. Seeing that price didn't really extend, though. I don't like that price isn't extending. This one didn't sweep liquidity like the ES did. Let's look at ES. So ES did extend. So, comparing those two together, there you go. It's already trying to pump. Wow. We got sorry. It is power hour now. I get some volume in here. Last hour of the day. Jermaine is the reason why you like 4-hour order blocks as opposed to daily order blocks better when looking at higher time frames. Obviously, always better looking at higher time frames. I like 4-hour and daily, so I do like to see them kind of line up too. if you're seeing 4-hour and daily order blocks line up, then you're probably gonna get some decent reaction at those levels. I'm gonna take off breakers because every once in a while I'll look at breakers, obviously on the lower time frames. But if you do get like, here you go, you got a stacked amount of order blocks up here. Like if I would go to the daily chart, is that same level is acting as an order block? Like, wow, that was. Look at this too. This is where like if you can like confide in a fib on top of order blocks, like you get stuff like this, and this just insane. So, get into that golden pocket. You're starting to see rejects, but you have order block up here. Why not wait to see an engulfing like this? Bam. You can take it short on the daily of ES right here, and you would have been, man, 102, probably what? 200 point move, probably more than that. Let me see. That's just insane.
You'd be flying over to me, and we'll party tonight.
Yeah, I would.
Friday.
Yeah, I won't be seeing you guys for a month or two. 240 point move. That's just crazy. But in the current state that we are in, I still got the 4 hours up. Let me hit a chart here. Sorry, I don't even know why I had the 4 hour up there. But, okay. Yeah, so this actually... Wait, where's replay? I want to see if we had an order block sitting here. I don't think we did. We did have that reject from back in March. I remember looking over that again on the daily. Lovely reject there from back in March. But there you go. That's why you want to look at, multiple. Obviously, price there rejected a 4 hour order block. On the 4 hour, you would have seen the same thing. But man, if this ain't a perfect little, lower high setup here on the ES, this is why it's like, am I bearish? Pretty much at the moment until I see a higher low, especially with the oscillator still in bearish money flow. But notice how it's decreasing. So that could be reversing, and seeing that we're, extended twice here. Had a little bit of divergence down there. Very, very tiny divergence. Little guy. Wasn't an extended area, so it's always a good sign for bullish setup. Give me a nice, strong bull day, and then I might be looking long. But seeing, like, even on here, I mean, that touched nearly the 50. It would be cool if we had a day on ES, like a nice wick down. Like if we closed here, we do got an hour left, but if we had a nice candle like this, let me just make this sucker, what is that? Wham. And then you do your little, I don't even know how people make those candles, but let's just say that's the wick. It's on the outside. Anyway, you get another wick, maybe a retest of that low on Monday or like late Sunday night, get a nice retest of this low here, and then a close up. I mean, I'm all for longs at that point, but that's why you wait around. Why hasn't there been any new video updates on which now? What are you talking about? We do have an AI video coming out here soon about the AI signals. So if that's what you're talking about, it is coming out very soon. But that's why we're here, though. That's why me and Mickey here. Go over what you want to see in real time. What else did we have? Tesla done with that 4 hour order block. How can we understand 4 hour order block on Tesla? Yeah, so there was several, though. That's the only thing. So let me just pull up the 4 hour. You know what? I'm going to go to the 4 hour. So it did just erase that 4 hour order block there, lower high. Right now, you have another order block on the 4 hour to deal with, right? So we did say that, 240 could have been a potential, especially after bouncing here. You do have a decent order block here, but look at the oscillator. I keep going over there for some reason. The oscillator set another lower high was extended several times. It hasn't been on the bearish side in forever. I mean, strong bullish volume. So because it's flipping bearish now, it's like I'm way more in like just looking for that downside move. It's just I'm speechless. Can't even talk. I just want that downside move. But no, for real though, it's like Obviously, Tesla, one of the highest volume trade stocks. I think it is the highest. I think it's above even the SP. Tesla, 85 million in volume. What does SPY have today? If I go volume winners, WTI. Somebody asked about WTI earlier. I forgot about that. We can go over that too. Obviously, it's just crude oil. It's the same thing. We can go over CL. Tesla volume 85 million. I don't know why is that popping up. There you go. Oh, the SQs. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, that thing's down today. Why is the SQ down today? It was at $20 last week. Wow. It's it's a ultra pro short. So like usually it's anyway. Yeah, even more than SPY. It's 20 million more than SPY on the day. It's just crazy how much volume trades on the Tesla. So Tesla got a big pull in the market, so it's definitely going to be affected. Be affected by anything going on. It's still green. Does that mean not broken yet? Are you talking about on the 4 hour there for Tesla? Let me go back. I think you're saying the same thing. Sorry, he said 32 million order block is still green though. Does that mean it's not broken yet? Yes, exactly. So I have the mitigation on close. So a candle will have to close below this order block for this to disappear. Now, if you put it on wick, it would be gone. So like if I put mitigation on wick here, we know that, Tesla actually broke through at, but it didn't. But I like close because it's going to show me if, in 50 minutes, if Tesla closes below this candle's low here. So the low of this candle is 250.66. If it closes below that, then, I kind of like it bearish. But we're still in, right? We're still in this 4 hour order block. So, as Mickey likes to say, go like trading outside of these order blocks, always good. So we do have one right below it at 49. So like if I go, if I set this 4 hour, the same situation on the time frame within the settings, go to a 5 minute, it's gonna not be there because guess what? It closed out of it on a 5 minute. But if I pull up the show breakers, you'll see the box, and there you go. It's trying to bounce off the low of this. So I will say though, you can see this little tiny guy down here. I'm not a huge fan of it because there's back-to-back order blocks on the 4 hour. But if it does break below this, you probably got to at least hit the 250 price. But there's a lot of price to play with here on the downside. So we'll see if it wants to hold inside this order block or not. But that's just kind of, going with that 4 hour move here. Decent little sell-off. But even on this here, it is testing, on the Fibonacci. It's at the 50 level. So, like, if it were to bounce here, this would be a retracement point. But I don't like that money flow was so weak on the bull side when it was up here, right? I don't like that. But, yeah. NQ, though. Did that 5 minute play out? Yeah, it's still rocking. It's still rocking. It's trying to. Still trying to go. I'm not, 5 minute looks solid. 1 minute. Remember, I like my 1 minute setups on here. So here you go. 1 minute. We missed it. But that's what right here. We were talking about. So 1 minute here could have been a little bit of a scalp setup. That's a really long, it's a 30 point there on the, I forgot it's the NASDAQ. So, 1 minute, I would have probably set it at the low, like right below the low of this guy here. Go for that breakout. Probably 1-to-1 on NQ. Would you look at NVIDIA and Netflix? Yeah, we can do that. Let's come back to this, see if it played through there. I did miss a potential entry. I'm not a huge fan that it extended to the upside. A lot of times I won't take it if it extends that high. But I do like the overflow setup, so let's see if it breaks out here in a second. I'll go to Netflix. What were you saying there, Mickey? Sorry, I heard you say something.
No.
Netflix. We're going to go over a few. Okay, well, then there you go. There you go. That's why I love this so much, right? So I love this setup. Like if you wait long enough and you get a proper setup, and there you go. This thing now hit almost 2-1 on that pump there. It probably will. I mean, this is lining up perfectly actually with
Oh, you're on 1 minute. Nice.
that's what I'm saying. They were looking for man, I wish we would have looked back at that faster. There you go. There's the order block target. Like I said, I always like to target these order blocks on these scalps. So like you would have had a 28-point move there, 115 ticks on NQ. Been a nice little scalpy. And then, at this point, if you want to let it, ride, when you see these setups, who did somebody said they were looking at a long for NQ. Wait, who was that earlier? Oh, Nicholas, did you take that? Did you take a long? He saw it before me. We were just looking. You can move your stop now up to here. Nice. Heck yeah, Nicholas. If you're in the group chat, I would love to see a screenshot of that. That'd be awesome. If you're still riding it, I don't know if you are. Nicholas? Do you know Nicholas?
No, but he's buying us drinks now.
Yeah, man. Oh, you said drinks on Nicholas. There you go. That's why you target upper order blocks though, guys. I mean, you can see here the NQ had that big spike and then it dropped off. But especially for scalps, just hit those order blocks. All right, Netflix. So what said Netflix on probably 4 hour again, which is inside a breaker. I'm out. Can send pick. Buying y'all drinks. Let's go. Wait, is Nicholas the guy that's like just been like flexing like 100K wins in the freaking? Have you seen that guy in the white group chat? One guy in the just the general area has been just hammering, like just posting like massive.
Hey Nicholas, are you in our VIP
No.
group? If so, what's your Discord handle?
This guy Furry or whatever his name is. Fury. I don't know if these are legit. You guys that use like the MT4 or whatever could tell me.
All right, Nicholas is in the VIP. Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
I was about to say I don't even know if it's real, to be honest. He just comes in and flexes on the general area, and he posts like a $456,000 win. It's like,
all right, drinks on him.
It's like, I don't know about that. Like, well, those of you that trade on the, I mean, he seems pretty legit, but I don't know. That'd be awesome if some dude was doing that. Anyway, Netflix.
Oh.
What's up?
No, go ahead. Netflix.
NQ still going? You like got me excited there for a second. NQ's just chilling now. It looks like it could rally a bit. All right. Yeah, back to Netflix. Netflix. Let me just take off the breakers for now and tick them back on if we need them. Let me see here. Netflix. All right. Oh, big gap down on Netflix today, looks like. Yep. Breaker is it prints the blocks that got broken. Okay, so like any order block that got broken, you can then continue to see it if you would like to trade it later. You can use them as potential entries with retracements sometimes. But that's pretty much what the breaker block is. So this is where, yeah. It's easy to manipulate MT4. Okay. I figured it. Like, numbers that big, there are some people that can do it. But, like, if you're sending a screenshot and you did 187K or, like, freaking 400,000, it's a phone screenshot, I don't believe you. Like, who the hell is trading and making 400,000 on a phone? I don't, like, that's not, no. All right. Not happening. Unless he's like just trying to flex it and he uses, I don't know. You have to show better proof than that. Anyway, let's see. Netflix. I mean, it's in a weird spot here, right? When it comes to just the order blocks, not really a great spot. Daily though, here you go. So the daily order block is lining up. This is what I was actually looking at on the 4 hour. If this were to be a significant level, it could be. If we got to see, but notice this is a massive level of resistance, and I just need to get rid of that. Here we go. Massive level of resistance that did get broken and kind of act as support. So this is obviously a pretty large range that was previously traded pretty aggressively. So a lot of volume occurred in the 360s. And you can see here, it's like with the price line there, it is lining up with that previous higher low. So right now you could consider this. Obviously, if we go to the daily though, notice we are currently still trying to trade in an order block here. We almost broke below it, but we're still in it. Previous higher low. We go to a 5 minute, and let's pull up that order block again on the daily. It's probably not going to pop up. We do probably have to do a breaker. So do a breaker. And there you go. So we're still in. We broke below that 4 hour order or daily order block, and we're currently still in it at the moment. But we need to see once again price react. So current downtrend. Netflix, honestly, I think it's still overvalued. I don't really like the price it's at. Anyway, if we pull up like a weekly chart, you can see how aggressive this move was since its IPO. Like that is just absurd. Obviously, this was the 18-19 when Netflix was first taking off. But I think actually, somewhere around 300 is a good evaluation for Netflix, where you've seen it trade quite a bit over here. I mean, it makes sense why it was valued as high as it was, like during COVID. And then during like that first streaming phase, but with the amount of streaming platforms, you have this massive dump, and now like they're kicking users off. So it's like, if we're talking about core value of this company, I can't even, I don't want to pull up all the balance sheets right now, but even the overall analysis on just price here is like, it's entering a level where the value makes sense, right? Because up here, too extended up here is too low, around 200. I would say a good medium is it's almost where it's at. It's 320 to 300 is going to be a good, if you were to buy, Netflix, good value. I don't know about upgrades or anything on that, but Lempy said, Mickey, can you go over your settings on your strategy for order blocks?
Go over settings.
You want to go over some settings, bro?
Why not? All right, let me go over signals and overlays, and I'll go over settings on the order blocks after that. Okay, we could do that.
Yeah, you could do that for sure. Ooh, look at this. This thing rejected on the NQ of that 1 minute order block, and now it's back down. This is a weird price point. It was kind of strange. I mean, look at the chop that we had during the NQ here. But again, this is why we always say, target those order blocks for your take profit, because it's always gonna grant you. There you go. You had a nice bounce and then a rip and then a dump. It's like rip and dump. The other thing here is, like, for those of you that do like my style of trading with the oscillator here, this here we're seeing like where's my drawing thing? If I like to see price extend on one side before trading a reversal or like a money flow change. So notice this never extended on the bearish side. So when I see that, I think, okay, this thing could head lower, right? Seeing the overflow could have lined up for a nice trade, and it did. It had a really nice little scalp there. But in this case, like for a longer trade or longer scalp, I, for one, wouldn't want to see price touch 80, the oscillator touch 80, which it did here. But I still probably would have taken a trade off this if this extended on one side, right? So that being extended on the downside could have set up for that reversal to the upside, right? So, like in this case, let me see a good example here. Here you go. So this is what I like to see is extended majorly, right? Like this morning, it broke down, right, and then the money flip, and then it had that lower high with the money flow flip. So that money flow needs to flip. It can't extend. So if the money flow is still green, it can't extend down there because that could indicate that this trend is fully on changing. So if you were to take that turning point here, notice your short would have been right here on that first higher low. So you could have had this first short here, stop there, and then you target probably the order block was here off this previous low, but 45 points on that one, and it would have been a 2-1. So that's where I mean where like consolidation obviously can break either way, but when you get that extended move, right, it can really help with when you're going, higher or lower. So really seeing these bigger stretches of the oscillator rather than these flips like this. So that's, how you see it failing out now. But nice little scalp if you took that to the order block of that recent lower high. But yeah, Mickey, let's go over your settings for him. Let's see who said it. Limp said, yeah. Mickey, can you go over your settings on your strategy for the order blocks?
Yeah, sure. Flip it back over to me.
Yeah, you got it, man. It's all you.
Let me go over this one thing over signals and overlays, and then I'll head over to price action concepts with the order blocks. Here is the Euro USD, the big daddy of all assets and symbols, right? Here's the 5-minute. It's pretty popular for everyone. You see the ups and downs. I'm going to talk a little bit fast. I'm going to move a little bit faster because I've already went over this concept last week or the last previous stream, a couple days ago. But this is just a bare chart, right? How do we make sense of this? Why don't we add signals and overlays, right? The basics is I have NeoCloud. Right, it shows me a smoother, longer-term trend bias, and I have the autopilot on long-term. I just want to see the long-term, and I'm concentrating on the signal prints. Okay, so far so good, not too bad, right? You got a little choppy right here, whatnot, right? But why don't we take a look at the 4-hour? My favorite 4-hour. I've seen a lot of questions. Why 4-hour? Why 4-hour? On signals and overlays, this is why. Right? Take a look at the 4-hour. Okay. Let's give it a second to load. Now, again, like just like I did in the last stream, this is year to date. Year to date, right? I'm safe. Almost every single trade, I'm a winner. Winner, chicken dinner, right? Add your trailing stop. At the end of the year, I am golden. I'm going to buy drinks for everyone. Okay. Let's go to the next year. Same thing. Right? So this is why I love 4 hours. On the 4-hour signals and overlays, I want to see signals and I want to see NeoCloud. Okay? That gives me a sense of direction and which direction I'm going to trade. Right? 4-hour, for me personally, gives me a higher probability in my trade direction. Okay? So that's signals and overlays. Let's head over to the price action concepts. Let's go over, let's unhide this. Let's go over the settings. This is the 4-hour, okay? I have this for my settings, okay? I want to concentrate on the order blocks. I turned off everything to make this chart cleaner, right? So I can focus on order blocks. Just like Jacob, I have show last 500. It could be 5,000 or 1,000,000. It does not matter because once you go over 200, it's just moot. It's a moot point. You're going to show all the order blocks. Okay. I will show breaker blocks. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Okay. I have a charting time frame of the 4-hour order blocks. Okay. And that is my chart. Okay. Now, to give me a better picture, I will add another price action concepts to overlay a daily order block. So let me turn off this price action and let me turn on the daily order blocks. Let me squish it down a bit and show you the dailies, right? Those are my dailies, okay? the settings on the dailies are exactly the same, except for the time frame of these order blocks. I set it to daily. Okay. Showing breakers. I want to see a lot of order blocks. That's pretty much it, right? So now, when I overlay both of them, that is my chart. Okay. That is my chart. Okay. On the Euro, USD, I only looking for shorts. Remember the chart that I showed you, signals and overlays. I'm only looking for shorts. I'm only looking for scalps or swing trades below an order block. I don't care if it's a 4-hour order block or a daily order block. It needs to be below. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. It's nice and simple. It's a nice and simple setup. You have any more questions on that? Who asked that? Anyway, hopefully that's clear and very, very simple for you. Lempy, right? Everything
Yes.
all good?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty much it. It's not rocket science. I just dummied the concept, my strategy for me. Nothing fancy, whatnot. It just works for me, you know. But thanks to price action concepts, you know, this and the 4-hour order blocks, it clicked. It really clicked for me, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Heck yeah, broski.
All right. What else we had? What are we going on? 3 hours almost, huh?
Oh, we're 2 hours 19 minutes. Been chilling. I'm just looking over.
John, you bro, this guy's like rapping out the facts.
Yes.
I'm just hyped up on the monster. Pretty much it, all right?
The facts. I was messing around. Look at this too. It's fun, you know, if you guys are waiting on a trade, it is fun sometimes to mess around with the settings. I was messing around with the oscillator matrix. I know you've used the trailing stop setting, haven't you? Before?
Yeah. Trailing stop number 2.
Number 2? What do you use what is your main length you use?
I'm leaving everything else default.
Okay, so you have it on 3. Interesting. Yeah, I was looking at it just because it smooths it out a little bit. I have a question. What did he say? Level 2, see the loss orders and see iceberg orders like this trader platform. Yes, I mean that is important in trading if you like to trade that way. I mean, all of ours are based on TA and technical analysis, not order flow. If you want order flow, I mean, Bookmap is probably the biggest thing that I would recommend using. Yeah. Anyway, on the settings here, trailing stop, it does smooth out a little bit on the oscillator. I was looking at the trade I had earlier to see if I would have had. There was a potential of a better entry, actually. We extended, you know, over here. Had that nice extension to the upside, and it started downtrending. But then here, we had that turning point, right? I took my trade off this candle this morning because the turning point was on the downside with on the other mode on the SMA. You see it right there, bam. But on trailing stop setting, it actually got it higher up here, which is pretty cool after that reject. But I was looking at if there's potentials of others. So like this is cool. When it broke the smart trail here, it came back with the money flow flip and never had a turning point, which is good because obviously it would have been failed. But it did extend to the upside, which, you know, we don't normally like. I was going to see here, extended upside, came back, turning point, still extended the upside. Here would have been a little rough as well. It's just, yeah, that's just so consolidated on that part. Numbers on the price action bar where it gets it. It's just pulling it from where it's, you know, where it's showing. So the volume there, 70K, happened at this level right on that candle. So it's pulling from where the order block was shown. So this candle here pulled over, it was 22,000. So obviously the higher the volume, the more significant, especially because there's more trading activity at that level. So seeing that can help determine which level might be more significant. But always watch for reaction. That's always super important. NQ bouncing off that order block on the 1 minute though, so in that case, not really a huge fan. Today though, I mean, we're pretty much settled off here. We got about 30 minutes left till close. I bet you we don't go anywhere. We did have the 2:30 algo there, or sorry, 3:30 algo, and we have the 3:45 coming up as well. Especially it's end of week, so they'll be, adjusting positions accordingly. But not really any reason to be trading anytime anymore now. I like to trade, like an hour after open, kind of give it, time to settle off. You can trade it, but today not too bad. I mean, we could try to think what else we could do other than maybe call it an end here soon.
I could wrap some more.
Let me see here. Yeah, dude, wrap it up. No, let me see. WTI. Someone wanted to see that because of crude oil. Let me reset these to default. Bam. All right. Man, what a move from today, actually, from early this morning. Crude had a massive rally today. Crude oil, I mean, can't go wrong here. This thing dropped off so quick from the 90s. Almost hit 80. Now we're back in play on crude oil. This is potentially a setup. Obviously, we have some fair value to play, and guess what happens with this fair value if this is a high? We can play that fair value as well as, that's where the fib's lining up. So we do have a fair value gap sitting here. But obviously, guess what? We don't need to draw it ourselves. We can just go into our price action concepts indicator, and we can tick on our FVGs. We also have volume imbalances, opening gaps, and I always forget what BPR is, but balanced price range. Boom. I got it. FVG right here. Sitting. Do we get a retrace of that? It's kind of hard because of this guy there that pumped. But did get that change of character. We are inside of a bearish FEG right now. So obviously price tends to lean towards liquidity. Liquidity is kind of weak on the downside, and then now it's back up after bouncing, and everything that's going on in the war across the world right now. So we said scalping the pound versus the yen, GBP, JPY, Owanda, the exchange I like to look at. Cam wants it on the 5-minute chart. See if there's any scalps to do. All right, so for the sake of the crowdedness, it's not too bad actually, but we can go back earlier. So, hold on. Might need to sneeze. All right, today, 5-minute. 5 a.m. this morning into New York session. Let's see here. New York session obviously occurred later on. Actually started off really nicely. So, let's see here. Got that 3 signal, right? Break a structure, rejects smart trail. Smart trail rejects all day long into another 3 signal. Remember, the 2 can act as a retracement. So you see the 2 with a purple candle. This is more than likely a retracement, right? Got a 3, got a nice fair value gap that it entered, and then a reject. I mean, this literally lined up perfectly for a short off this level. Reject of that fair value gap alongside a turning point that occurred shortly after if you want to take a late entry. In my opinion, that fair value gap off of a smart trail reject would have just been golden. Especially because it reset a bit here. So it was resetting on the oscillator. So seeing that reject there, even the second candle could have been worth taking. Nice little down move here. This is the pound against the yen, of course, for Cam. In the current situation, Again, it is Friday, end of day, and we are chopping it up. So 2 could be that retrace that we talked about. Still in pretty much a downtrend. Kind of broke it, but not really. But bearish money flow still super strong. So today there was an opportunity for sure on a trade for the 5-minute, but that's exactly what we like to see. But nice little setup. When's it broke smart trail? Does that mean done? Yeah, it can mean done. Yes. I mean, it's pretty, that's why we say like, wait for that smart trail break, because that could indicate a start of a reversal, right? Like here in this case, when it broke that smart trail, it was on a 3 signal, strong signal, right? I want to see a retracement and a touch of this smart trail, usually pretty quickly. So I want to see a move up and then back down and then up. In this case, it settled off at this recent high, had some resistance, and never really fully tested this and showed that it wanted to act as support. So no momentum after this initial breakout originally early this morning. Obviously, that was 3 a.m., so it was like right in that 3 a.m. Asian session, right? Is that right, Mickey? What is 3 a.m.? It's always that volume. London. I'm stupid. Okay.
3 a.m. my time is Asian session.
It's London. That London session.
Overlap?
Yeah, so the London session, there you go. That's that London session volume kicking in. I'm silly. Broke, swept that high and then just dumped. But I don't really trade Forex. I just trade futures. ES and NQ is what I trade. But yeah, choppy. Looking into next week, we might as well just head over and do kind of an outro. So let's go into next week. Today, as we can do a quick recap, we have the Dow Jones closing green. We have the SP 500 closing a bit red, only 20 points in the red. We had the Canadian index as well, closed a bit red there, but we don't really look at that market. NASDAQ as well, 1% red, with NASDAQ being the biggest loser today. But SP's right behind it. Dow being the winner today. So let's take a look at what could potentially be coming next week. Obviously, we're going to go over to our handy dandy investing.com page here, and we'll go into next week. Starting on Sunday of the IMF meetings, let's just filter out for now our 3-star events to see as we close out the stream here. We have on Tuesday, core retail sales month over month. It's forecasted 0.1%. Previous was 0.6%. So that's not too great. That's a decent little move there for being 0.1 to 0.6. Retail sales also coming out with core, of course. They always come out together. That's on Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern. This will be an hour before open, so we will see some nice volatility into open, which is nice. Like always, crude oil inventories on, is it when? I thought it used to be on Thursdays. Anyway, it's on Wednesday. Yeah, never mind. It's always Wednesday. Wednesday, 10:30, like always. The previous was down. Obviously, you saw that crude oil is right back rallying up because obviously with war going on, especially commodities are going to be up. So pay attention to, how that supply is doing that day. Building permits, 8:30 on Wednesday as well. Looks like, hopefully it's more than because it's already projecting that it's going to be down from last month. So hopefully we go up from what's projected. Jobless claims, like always, on Thursday, hour before open. We got Philly manufacturing hour before open on Thursday, and home sales as well. So not too crazy. Obviously, it's the week after CPI and PPI and all of that. No, this week was just PPI, wasn't it? No, we had CPI and PPI, so we did have both, and FOMC. It's one of those weeks, So a lot of crazy news this week, and I'm sorry, I should have scrolled more down so you could see that. But again, nothing too crazy, so it wasn't really that important. I'd say the biggest thing to watch would be if you trade crude, obviously high watch on that inventory. And then the retail sales is probably going to be interesting. Okay, we do have, sorry, I didn't see this earlier. I don't know why it didn't pop up. We do have Jerome talking at noon on Thursday. So obviously when that guy touches the microphone, if you've seen the memes, the market just goes bonkers. And Mickey, what do you have up? What do you have up on your background? So Mickey's gonna start.
What do we got here, Al?
Yes, that's funny. Mickey will start showing us some pretty funny backgrounds. If we'll see what he has come next week. Nicholas, we will start streaming every day pretty soon. There you go, Jerome on Thursday. Mickey's showing us Jerome showing that. What is he even doing there? It looks like he's telling you that you're short. Like you're just this guy that's super short. That's Jerome, and then Mickey's pretending to be the retail trader right now. It's like, but okay, you're just gonna flip through all your backgrounds now. We're gonna try to go live almost every day coming up soon. As of now, no, we're going to try possibly do 3 next week, but definitely be ready for Tuesday and Thursday, I think. If we do 3, it'll obviously be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll let you know if we do Monday, though. I'll see if Mickey wants to. Obviously, Mickey's usually down the stream, so we'll probably at some point soon be doing every day. So next week, news is kind of weak, so have fun trading next week. Hopefully we have, a nice recovery. If not, we're not really going to stress about it. Last take here, as you can see, US 30. We're pretty much starting to break even other than the NASDAQ down 1.5%. The VIX is up 17% today, so volatility seems to be hitting these lows. The dollar up, closing green, it looks like today. But, yeah, we'll kind of see where we end up next week.
Nice.
But we can look over, crude's down a little bit, but it is bouncing. It did hit a low, of like low 80s. Yeah, so it's up. Oh, sorry, that just refreshed. I was wondering. I was like, it's not that low. 87 on crude. Natural gas, 3% down today. Because it did break out. Remember, we saw that retrace. Gold, massive pump, 3%. Trying to retest, obviously, the high 19s, or sorry, mid 19s, and then silver up 4% as well. So yeah, coming into next week should be a fun week, and we'll see you guys probably Tuesday. If not, we will keep you updated for Monday. Appreciate you tuning in. And of course, if you like the indicators that we had been using all day today, the order blocks, the order blocks, the signals and overlays, and the oscillator matrix, which is my favorite out of all of them, besides the order blocks, of course, you can get a 30 days risk-free right now. Just go to the link in the description and click this big green button on the page. Remember to always go and check out the guides as well under resources. This is going to tell you all the in-depth information on all the features that we provide in these premium indicators, as well as one of our new favorite things is our library. Click the library link, top of the Lux Algo page. You can go through all of our free indicators. We are constantly releasing new indicators every week. As you can see, on the 11th, 2 days ago, we released a predictive channels indicator, and we are trying to release ones for every type of trading style and current trend that is happening. So like machine learning one that we just launched with the Nasher process regression, which is interesting. I know somebody was excited about this one. I can't remember who it was, but I haven't even looked at that one, which is interesting. But range detector, that's a pretty cool one. That's we're gonna release a video on here soon as well, where it will spot consolidation and could alert you with breakouts of that. But yeah, check out the library. We do have obviously a way for you guys to look at platforms like you can get it on Thinkorswim and other things like that. Like here you go. Now, obviously defaults TradingView, but some indicators are on MetaTrader, NinjaTrader, and MetaTrader, or both MetaTraders and Thinkorswim. And then you can as well, if you click this, I know you can't see it, but there's a drop down here. You can select your platform from TradeStation, NinjaTrader, Thinkorswim, and both MetaTraders. And also, of course, TradingView. Everything is available on TradingView. The newer indicators aren't available right away on some of those platforms, but a lot of, if you want to see obviously which ones are, you just click the platform filter here, and then you pick what platform you like using. But that is for the free indicators, so go check that out on the library tab on our website. But we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're excited to continue to make the stream better. Obviously, you can see what we look like now. I know we're great looking guys.
Jesus.
No, we're here to make it as personal as possible, so you guys can enjoy the stream a little bit better. Obviously, sometimes just talking over a chart can get pretty boring. So hopefully we get close enough to where you guys can come back and hang out with us streaming every day at some point. But I think that's a good place to leave it there. Mickey, what do you think?
I think that everything's good. Thank you so much for
Nice.
allowing me to join you again.
Look,
Love it.
like I wouldn't always allow you to join me. But yeah, Mickey, have a nice weekend, man. If you guys are into football, if you're playing if you're against the Ravens in London, then I hope you lose. Sorry, if you're I don't know why I said that. If you're against the Titans in London, I hope you lose, which is the Ravens. So if you are a Ravens fan, sorry, this week I do hope you lose. Mickey, I know you're a Raiders fan. Who you guys playing this week?
I have no clue. All I know is
I think did you have a bye last week? I don't even know. Anyway, for those of you in London, though, if you're going to the game, have a good time. It is a lot of fun. Enjoy it while you can, because obviously there's only a few games there every year. But hopefully the time change doesn't make my team suck. So I'm praying we can pull out another win. But yeah, guys, we'll see you next week.
have a good one. Thank you.
Have a great weekend, and we'll let you know if we stream on Monday. But we'll see you then. Peace.